Wait for some play-by-play.
The crowd is dwindled.
I'll ask the first question.
Typical.
So you coached several years, a few years with Brandon Staley. We all saw what happened the other night. Do you give him a call? Do you kind of compare notes about what it's like? Maybe pick up a tip or two about facing the Raiders?
I mean, you try to always keep up your relationships throughout the league whenever you can. But he's obviously very busy and doing a great job over there, as are we. And so we everybody's got a plan for themselves in this league.
You came into the year talking about producing with takeaways and sacks. With where your pass rush is at right now, what has, I guess, satisfied you and impressed you about the way you guys have been able to turn rush into production?
Yeah, I mean, I think the production is what's satisfying, and it's good to see those guys working together. I think they're collaborating. They're buying into what we're trying to teach them in terms of rush and coverage. It's a function of both. Sacks come as a function of both. I've said that from the beginning, and we believe in that. And so those guys are winning their one-on-ones when they get their opportunities, and then we just try to keep moving that hat around and try to share the wealth a little bit as much as we can.
I think Joey Bosa, after the Monday night game, said something about Derek Carr not handling pressure well. The stats show that he's actually pretty good at it. How have you seen him handle a pass rush?
Derek Carr?
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's playing at the highest level I've seen him play. He handles it really well, and you see that in a lot of games this year. I mean, he can throw the rock, he can avoid, he scrambles to pass, and he's got his eyes up the field, and they've got targets that they can hit at all levels of the field. He can make all those throws, so I don't see any issue with him handling any rush.
With Renfro in particular, what does Renfro do to help him out in this situation?
Oh, I mean, you see that the trust that they have. They know where each other are going to be, and they know where their eyes are going to be. They know the routes that they're going to run, and Renfro does a great job winning leverages. And he's building a nice career doing that.
And Sean, when you watch Darren Waller, you watch him play, what are some of the reasons why he has become just such a dominant player the last couple of years?
I think he plays with an aggressive mindset. He attacks the ball when he's catching it. He's got a good catch radius, and he's got good speed, and he's got length. So I mean, those are all traits that you want in a tight end, and the system and the routes, the way they're teaching him there, is showing up. And so he's playing with a lot of confidence, and you can see the quarterback has a lot of confidence and trust in him as well. So he's certainly a challenge.
They also have a deep threat in Ruggs. They have a good running game, Josh Jacobs. What's the most difficult thing preparing for a team that isn't one-dimensional, that can hurt you in a variety of different ways?
I think you just answered the question. The difficulty is you're preparing for everything, and so you got to be really good at everything, because this team is built. The Raiders I'm talking about is built to attack everything. They can attack your edges in the run game. They can hit you downhill. Jacobs is a physical downhill runner, and you guys saw it on tape every week this year, where they're going to get their pass explosives. And there's going to be points in the time where they're just going to tell Ruggs to run to the green grass, and Derek's going to throw it to the green grass, and he's going to go catch it. And they take a lot of shots with 89 on the outside too. So to answer your question, the difficulty in preparing for everything is that they do everything, and so that's what we got to be good at.
You say Derek Carr is playing at the highest level that you've seen him play. What is he doing now better than maybe what he used to do? What is it that you're seeing from him?
So I just played him back a few years ago, and I think it's probably just a growth and comfortability in the system. I think it looks as if him and Coach Gruden are on the same page. Coach Olson, that the offense runs through him. He's able to control a lot the line of scrimmage. He's able to make his adjustments and attack defenses the way he sees fit, and he's got the arm talent and the mindset to go do that. And so he's playing with that confidence.
The sack Khalil had the other day, obviously DHC was a big part of that. What did you see in his contribution to that play, and obviously a willingness to take on that?
DHC?
Yeah.
Well, like I've told you guys, this is a collective mindset. So there was an opportunity for him, if they set a different way on that same play, that he could have gotten a sack. So it's we're all working as one. This is 11 as one, the rush is 4 as one, 5 as one, and we're all trying to work as one. So everybody understands their roles within the techniques and the fundamentals that we teach, and everybody's expected to execute those at the highest level when they're given that task.
What does that require from Khalil in terms of just the timing and the ability to use that as effectively as he did?
Savviness, I guess, I mean, it requires a good player to understand the same thing. He understands what the defense was trying to do, and you're able to go out and execute it. And so you use the techniques and the fundamentals, and obviously his savviness adds a layer for us, a nice layer for us, where he can make it work as well.
When you lose a game after one play, how do you adjust on the fly, your rotations and all?
Yeah, we have those plans as we talk about in-house during the week. We're try to be prepared for as many scenarios as you can be prepared for. It's unfortunate. Obviously, he's a highly impactful player for us on our defense. But that's part of football. Guys get hurt, and we've seen it through this first 4 weeks at various levels of our defense. And not just our defense. I'm sure defenses and offenses around the league. But that's part of the game. And so you got to respond, and whoever's up, like I told you guys, they still expected to execute the defense at the level that we want it to be executed at. And they did. The guys stepped up.
Are you curious to try and get all 11 of your starters on the field at the same time at some point this season?
Yeah, that's always a goal. But that's an uncontrollable thing. So we try not to worry about the things that we can't control. We just try to control what we can control and go out there and put our best product and our best foot forward each week.
It had been a long time since Eddie Goldman had played in a game. How do you feel that he stepped in and played?
Yeah, great. Like you said, it's I feel great that he was able to step in and play, and he showed some production, and then he'll continue to get better. He'll continue to get better, and that's the great thing about a guy like him.
Sean, you guys lead the NFL in sacks. Is that something that the guys in the pass rush talk a lot about? Is that like a motivating factor? Like we want to stay up there? Is it just something that you ever mention in meetings?
It's been talked about. I mean, a lot of it obviously comes from you guys. You keep putting it out there, which is fine. They've earned it. The guys have earned that right to celebrate that. But like I told you guys after week 1 and week 2, it's only week 4. And we got a lot of games left, and we still want to ascend in how our trajectory is going and the quality of defense that we're playing. And so that's the biggest point of emphasis in meetings, is to continue to grow.
What has Duke Shelley given you since you put him in there in week 2?
Duke's competitive and tough, and so you see that on tape. He makes some physical plays, is tackling, and he's getting better too. He's trying to compete on his one-on-ones and winning to his leverage side, which is a big point of emphasis in his defense for the nickel.
Sean, on Quinn's strip sack, for you, what was the most impressive part of his rush?
Oh, I mean, really every phase of it. I mean, his get off the ball, where he was able to turn the corner, run the hoop, and then finish. I mean, that's what you want. Pretty much on all the sacks, you're always hoping for a sack fumble, and so he was able to execute it. And you see his explosiveness off the ball.
Sean, with Quinn, there's so much of your job that's analytics and scheming and strategy and all that, but on a human level, did you get the sense when you got together with him in the summer that he was in a better place? Because he's talked about this mentally, that he felt better. Were you able to see a different guy than who you'd been around last year?
Yeah, and I think we've said that, that his relationship, his own mental space has been better. Our mental space has been better. Coach Shuey's doing an outstanding job with him, coaching him up, and Robert's doing an outstanding job accepting the roles that we're asking him to accept in his defense. And so when everybody's on the same page and there's clarity in everybody's tasks, I think people can start pulling in the same direction.
Coach, forgive me if you've already been asked this, I'm sorry, but is Trevathan as healthy as he started?
I think I answered that last week. So those decisions are made on a game-to-game basis on performance and where we think our defense best fits, because you guys see we got a lot of players playing on defense, and so what does starting mean? You play the first snap and you're out the second, so those kind of things will be decided on a game-to-game basis.
How do you feel like Ogletree is done stepping in for Danny? How do you feel like Alec Ogletree is done stepping in?
I think he's done outstanding. He shows why he's been a successful player in this league. He's the leader. He's got a lot of veteran savviness, and he understands the defense, and he's a starting caliber player.
Sean, with this being another game against the Raiders, the team that drafted Khalil, and him essentially being shut out the last meeting a couple years ago, is that something that comes up at all this week when you guys talk?
Not for me.
Do you think it's
This is 2021, and we've got a new defense, and, I mean, we try not to live in the past.
So, sorry if you've been asked, but where is Trevathan in his return? I mean, how close is he to playing, and what
I mean, he's out there
is that going to
practicing
be?
with us.
I'm sorry?
That's nice. He's out there practicing with us, so that's nice. In terms of the logistics of getting him back up and all that, that's beyond my scope.
But is he not playing, is he healthy enough to play a game, I guess is that?
We continue to evaluate that, because we started his clock, so we felt that he was healthy enough to come back and start practicing with us. So that's what you need to do when a guy comes off that. And so now we just evaluate that every day.
Just had one question about Goldman. The stat sheet rarely, if ever, does him justice, and it didn't last week, obviously. But when you grade him, what is there any way that you guys quantify what he did or how he did, or what can you give us as far as something that just, like I said, quantifies what he?
Can't give you our grade sheet.
But I mean, is there some facet of it, like?
Yeah, we have impact plays, where guys impact plays that they may not be the primary on, of what everybody else sees as the stat sheets. So for a prime example of that would be DeAndre Houston-Carson on Khalil Mack's sack. That was an impact play that he made, and he set up that sack. So there are plays that we account for our guys, all of our guys, at all levels of the defense in that way. Could be a sack that somebody else made, and because you took away the quarterback's first read because the corner was in tight coverage, that's an assisted sack from our perspective.
But in your sheet, Goldman just generally graded out well in this game, right?
He did good enough for us to win the game.